Well, hey, everyone. Happy Saturday to you. I hope your Saturday is going well, and I hope your weekend has gotten off to a great start. I want to welcome you to the show. Hey, my name is Don Terrell, and I want to welcome you to another great episode of The Color of Motion, or I like to say, colors come in all shades. And I highlight people of color and diverse backgrounds in the industry of motion graphics, animation, visual effects, cartoons, and comics. And this space that I love so well. You know the drill. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Hey, Miss Salve, I hope you are doing well. Thank you for tuning in. Great guest I had on a while ago. Super talented animator. So looking forward to having her back on. Appreciate you tuning in, Salve, for sure. Again, like I said, let me know where you're tuning in from. We got a lot of great things planned for the show, and always encouraging everybody to get engaged, with the community. If you are checking out the show, make sure, or if you haven't yet already, make sure that you get connected into the Facebook group community, The Color of Motion, facebook.com/groups/, The Color of Motion. Get involved, become a part of our community. We share a lot of great industry news, having great conversations, and just all around fun. So definitely want you to be a part of that. You can always check me out. Make sure that you connect with me on all my social channels there. I'm getting pretty good at where to point. Uh, check Connect with me on all my social channels. Definitely want to hear from you. Again, definitely want you to be a part of the community for sure and get involved. Like I said, we got a lot of great new things happening for this show. And if you haven't heard already or seen any of the ads, we are fast coming up in a couple of weeks celebrating our 1 year anniversary doing the show. 1 year doing the show. And we're going to have a blast Sunday, November 7th. It's going to be on a Sunday for sure. So that's going to be a jam packed weekend for sure. But celebrating our 1 year and just all the fun that we've had over the past year. Got a very special guest lined up. May have some surprise guests pop in and say hello. You never know. Some fun giveaways, and we're just going to have a blast. Again, Sunday, November 7th, 3 p.m. Central, live for sure. Mr. 4GQTV. Hey, I appreciate you tuning in for sure. Like I said, I always love having people tune in and engaging with them on the show. Like I said, been super looking forward to this episode and having my friend and guest on for sure. What else is there? Oh, always. If you are one of those ones that kind of tends to like to watch the show from LinkedIn or Facebook, we do, like I said, our broadcasting on YouTube, and I do always highly encourage people to join and subscribe my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Don Terrell. Give a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell notification. You'll be able to get notified of when the show goes live there, be able to check out all the new content going up and all the past great episodes as well from there. So that I always encourage people to do as well. So I think, like I said, we got a lot of great things planned for the show. And I think I'll probably save those for the 1 year episode. Really, diving deeper into that. Of course, like I said, I've been telling you, the new website is going to be coming up in the next few weeks. Planning to do some swag items for the show to give to the guests and have some fun giveaways and where you can purchase on the website. So just a lot of great things planned for the show that I'm super, super excited to let you know about and unveil to you. So with that, like I said, I am not going to delay any longer because, like I said, I've been super looking forward to having my next guest on and friend. Like I said, I had a chance to connect with him some months back, and super nice guy, and just so glad he agreed to be on the show. We just had a great time and hit it off really well, and really doing some awesome things. So I'm super looking forward to sitting down and chopping it up with him for a little bit. So with that, my next guest was born and raised in Seattle, Washington, and has always wanted to work in tech. His passion started when he was in the U.S. Navy, serviceman for 8 years, and served 2 Gulf tours, and has traveled to such countries as Japan, Thailand, Singapore, Australia, worldwide, worldwide, Guam, Hong Kong, South Korea, to name a few. He's a senior program manager at Microsoft, working in the Xbox organization on Team xCloud, and has been at Microsoft for just over 7 years. He's worked on a number of large technical deployments and worked directly with Microsoft executives. Currently on Team xCloud, where they are delivering video games to people anywhere and everywhere they want to play. And as you know, that's expanding in this ever changing time. Everybody, please help me welcome my very special guest and friend, Mr. Paris Lockhart. Whoop, 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 whoop. Let me get a little horn in there. Yes, Mr.
There we
Paris.
go. There we go. Let's get this party started, right?
Yes. Super excited to have you on, Paris, and been looking forward to it, man. How you doing?
Awesome.
Mr.
I'm doing.
4G QTV says, "Hey, Paris."
Yes,
All
yes.
right.
That's my channel. That's what that's where we do a
Yeah.
little bit of our so they're tuning in. So
I
that's cool.
appreciate you guys tuning in and supporting your boy there. Appreciate it. So, like I said, let's get this party started, man. Service man for 8 years, and you always wanted to be in tech. I mean, were you doing something technical in the service, or what was your thing in the Navy that you were doing?
Yeah. So, without going like diving deep into it, but when I joined, I really didn't know what I wanted to do, but I just wanted to, computers were always something that stuck with me because even before I joined the Navy, I worked at Kmart. I worked in the electronics section. And folks who've ever worked at retail stores know how crazy it can be, at Kmart, especially back, what was it, late 90s? Yeah, so late 90s back then. And it was, the Tickleby Elmo doll was out.
The
And the
man
electronics section was right next to the toy section. So people would just be ringing me up. But yeah. So just back then, I sort of wanted to get into tech because I worked there. And then when I joined the Navy, I had an opportunity to get into IT, and that's sort of where it took off then. And that's I really thrive in that area. So it was something that's back when I was in, I was like, you know what, I was telling people, I was like, I'm gonna work at Microsoft Watch, and people were like, oh yeah, whatever.
So was that a kind of goal for you to work at Microsoft?
Long-term goal back then. And then once I got out of the Navy, I was like, okay, I worked at a few different companies and organizations, and then once I got to Microsoft, it was like, okay, I want to work in gaming because I started playing games. I've been playing games since the 80s, and was like tech. And then video games are now, they were just blowing up, and it was just like, I got to be part of something that I'm really, really passionate about, and now I'm here. So yeah, it was always fun to live out my dreams and
Yeah.
stuff that I sort of path. A lot of help, a lot of community, a lot of talking to people to get me to where I'm at. But it's to live out that passion was really good
Yeah.
for me. So
Awesome.
and I'm doing it.
So were your parents kind of instrumental in kind of nurturing that technical side of you as you were growing up, or were they like, I think you might want to try something
Yeah,
else, or what?
it was a complete opposite, really. I grew up, in a broken home, right?
Yeah.
So there was none of that. It was more of sort of, you know, I wouldn't say cliche, but when you watch college football or you watch football on the TV and they bring up, oh, this guy came from the streets, or
Yeah. Yeah.
no father in their life. It's sort of the cliche sort of thing. So that's sort of where my upbringing came from. So it's sort of like, I would say I learned it all on my own, but it was like, I had to do something, or I didn't want to become another statistic, in jail, drugs, and all that other stuff. So I just seen all the stuff that was going on around me, and I was just like, I can't be a part of that. So for me, it was more of like, I need to do more to help myself, right? Because no one else is going to help me. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and that's interesting. I mean, because you know, as far as like, because I grew up from a broken home as well. My dad, my mom separated when
Yeah.
I was fairly young, but my mom saw the talent that I had artistically. But like most typical parents, and especially black parents, they're wanting you to get a regular job with the benefits and type of thing. So
Hmm.
I mean, was your like mom supportive of you and kind of kept you in create? Because my mom kept me in like creative, arts and crafts, things like that she knew
Yeah.
kind of kept me going, even though she didn't quite understand how that might translate into a job.
Right. For me, I would say my mom did her best
Yeah.
to keep me on a straight path. There was discipline and all that other stuff. So she also taught me, sort of she taught me how to keep my house clean. For sure. So there's a lot of things that I still do to this day that came from her. But just growing up in general, when you're struggling, it's
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff. You're like, when you get older, you really appreciate it now, but when you're growing up, you just don't even see it. You're like, what's going on around here, sort of thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's kept me on a narrow path. And then when time for me to sort of get on my own, I made the decision to join the military and and be in the Navy. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was going to go into the Air Force because like I said, I wanted to go to school, and I figured that was the best way to pay for school. But I had back surgery when I was a little
Oh,
bit younger, so they wouldn't take me
mhm.
because of my back surgery. But do you
Yeah.
feel like the service? I mean, what do you feel like serving your time in the service? How has that kind of helped you in your journey to Microsoft now? I mean, what are the obviously you gain a lot of different values being in the
Mhm.
service. How do you feel that it's kind of helped you?
For me, there's a lot of people that that you meet in the military. A lot of good people across the world. So, like, I know I'm a lot of to this day I have a lot of friends who are probably even tuning in right now. I know it's college football Saturday, but
Yeah, I'm competing with
going,
college football. So.
but yeah, it just meeting all these different people from all these different backgrounds, from all these different places across the world. Well, mainly across the United States, it was a pleasure for me to be able to meet all these people and then listen to their stories and then come together, politically and all that stuff. People may have differences and stuff, but when you're in the military, we put all that stuff aside and we have one goal, and that's the mission, right? So, and that sort of is always, that brings me back to like, the camaraderie and all the things that you learn and grow, because we all have a certain mission that we must accomplish, and no one person's better than the other, and we all need to, someone's down, we got to pick them up and get them there, right? Sort of thing. So that's I learned a lot of that, and a lot of just passion to get things done and to do it in what I would consider the right way. And failure for me, I always say failure is not an option for me, because I gotta be successful. I gotta be able to do this. I gotta do this, and I gotta do it right. So I learn, I study, I help people. They help me. So yeah, growing up there, that's kind of where I grew up at, right? That's right in that bubble, as far as like career, focusing on my career, and then working with all these different people across the United States. So
and I think that's one of the big things, and kind of another one of the reasons I wanted to join too, is it really exposes you to a bigger world outside of what you're normally grow up, what we normally tend to typically grow up in, being a part of the service, for sure. Obviously, games played a big role in your life. What type of games? I mean, what were the type of games that you loved playing, kind of
growing up? Well, it started when I think one of my friends, he had an Atari, and he was like the neighborhood king, because no one else had one, so we would all go to his house and play. And then we started playing. Then we all got Nintendos, and then we'd be playing at each other's house, spending hours and hours on Tecmo Bowl, Super Mario. I remember one time we were at a friend's house, and their mom didn't let everybody in the house at the same time. So everybody would be outside waiting on their turn to come in and get on the sticks. So the
There's always a mom like that, for sure. All them kids ain't coming in my house.
So everybody be outside just waiting for their turn. Like, oh, did you win? Did you lose? What's the score? How much time? Oh, it's on pause. Where'd they go? Right?
Oh,
in
man.
the bathroom. Yeah, we ain't got that much time. So that sort of stuff, right? Growing up on, Nintendo, and then eventually got the Sega Genesis and played a bunch of games there. It's just, they didn't have like the amount of games that they have now back then.
Yeah.
But, the Maddens, the Joe Montana football, and all that stuff, Sonic the Hedgehog. And then, PlayStation came around. I was a PlayStation head first. There was no Xbox back then. So, I played on PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3. And then I made the switch and then I bought my first Xbox 360 back after, maybe 2 years after it was out or something like that back then. Yeah. But, games I play now, Destiny 2, Minecraft Dungeons.
I mean, does it surprise? Well, maybe not, but does it surprise you, like, how far games have come? From, like I said, I was kind of an Atari person too, playing the Pong. The little ball going. I mean, games now, and I've had a couple of, like I said, maybe Sean. Maybe watching this or check it out. He works for EA. EA. But games really has surpassed films in dollar wise. Does it surprise you, where games has come to this point?
I wouldn't say I'm surprised. I would say that, growing up, we were the people that were playing them. We weren't the creators, and then it sort of shifted where the people that were playing them are now creating them, and there's a lot of people. So now people that are creating the games also get a chance to spread all their different ideas out there. So it's blowing up, and I'm so happy for it, because it's the only thing that's weird to me is like the streaming thing, where people are streaming games now.
Yeah. I'm like, I see some people and they got like 60, 70,000 people just sitting watching them on the game. Right. I'm like, okay, maybe I need to play some video games.
Right. And I sort of wish, I was like, what? Like, what if we had cameras in our, rooms or areas when we were little and
Yeah.
streaming our games, right?
Yeah.
And I think that it would be just as successful as it is today because of, back then when we were younger, it was just, it was all, we were teenagers.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
yeah, we'd have been a younger audience, but it would have been real, right? It would have been really great, I think. And all the people that play video games that played back then, just think about it, right? Just think
Yeah.
about like what happened
Yeah.
if we had cameras. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
I
I
think
loved it.
what
I'm happy
surprises
for it.
me, I think what I really love is that, like I say, games now are so cinematic. I mean, they're spending so much just on the trailer, and now with the access of Unreal, Unity, and all these platforms that are making
Mhm.
such, just amazing type of graphics and things, and then to add to the fact that computers are getting faster, and technology is just now can process all of that. It amazes me.
Yeah. That just it's blowing up. The computers are faster. The speed is ridiculous. The graphic artists, the people that are putting these things together, they're super talented. It's amazing to see, and then the services that enable all this stuff to happen is also great. You got Twitch, you got all the streaming services, Facebook games, all that stuff. Is allowing the people to stream themselves, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a fantastic industry. I love it. Gaming is fun. I'm just so happy for it right now,
Yeah.
and it's still growing. That's the crazy thing. It's still growing, and
Yeah.
yeah.
And then you got, like I said, even national TV with esports, and
Hmm.
that just highlighting games and just the love of games. Where do you, I mean, just kind of fantasizing and thinking about it in your mind, where do you see games going? Because, like you said, with streaming services and the things that are happening now and all the channels, it's just, I mean, where do you kind of contemplate seeing games kind of go?
I really am passionate about giving enabling people to at least have the opportunity to play games, right? So that's where I see it going is, in countries where they don't have that opportunity, and stuff like that. So I don't know if you just heard like Xbox, we just unlocked cloud gaming in Brazil,
Yeah.
Japan, and stuff like that, Mexico, and it's been really really successful. And it's like, people that can't afford the big consoles, right? How can we get them games? And having the opportunity to do that has been great.
Yeah.
There's still very large countries out there where they just don't have that opportunity, and I think by enabling those services to get there, we're just going to increase the amount of people that probably, if they never had a passion for games, they might develop that passion,
Yeah.
just because now they have the access and they have the ability to do it, sort of thing. And you never know, we might get some devs, you might get some creators who create some games, some
Yeah.
content for people,
Yeah.
that could be really big. We just don't know because they just don't have that opportunity. So I see gaming as another plug-in for folks to another entertainment to avenue for folks to jump in and play together, play with people across the world.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you
And I
got a
think
headset
that's
on,
a
you're
fun.
talking to
Yeah,
someone.
that's a fun
Yeah.
part too, and especially with just like I said, games on your phone. You're able to play with people
Hmm.
anywhere online and compete and stuff. I think that makes it a much more engaging experience.
Right.
With with the fact that now you're starting to open up and make sure that you're getting them out to other countries, are you a little more conscious about the diversity of the characters and just, you know, the more having more diversity? Like I said, that's a big thing, especially
Yeah.
now with the unrest that we've been going through. Just
Hmm.
this diversity and having more diverse creators, more diverse characters, more diverse stories.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you got to have diversity in gaming, right? And it's just part of the makeup. Like, you if you're going to be going into areas where, you know there's a certain culture there, culture of people, culture of religions, and culture of just how they do things. You want to be able to have something relatable to them. You can't have just sort of the same niche, or they're not going to buy it. They're just going to be, you're going to lose out on that market, that opportunity. So diversity is huge in gaming, and like studios and stuff like that. It's been real awesome to see, how they've been including diversity, for people of color, different, sex and all sorts of things, and it's great, and I'm so passionate about that, and how we're able to deliver that to people and give them the content that they want to play. It's still, we still got a long ways to go. It's not perfect, but I really do think that, as long as we keep on pushing for it and keep on delivering great content, I think we'll get there.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love the fact that we're able to do it. So it's great.
Yeah. We're gonna throw some comment. That's my brother there, Mr. Sean Christian Bellinger. Hey, brother, appreciate you. I knew you were gonna tune in with, with the Xbox. I knew you were gonna tune in. That awesome guest works with EA, and like I said, gaming is just has just been such a big thing. What do you, I mean, like I said, you kind of touched on it a little. What do you think the appeal is that people love about games? Is it the graphics? Is it the escapism? Is it the competition? I mean, what to you? What was the appeal for games for you, and what do you think
Um,
makes it such a big thing?
yeah. For me, it's community. It's bringing people together and playing games, either side by side. But nowadays, it's, hey, I have my own TV, I have my own set, I have my own device, I have my own phone.
Yeah,
I can now play with you, and we don't have to be in the same room. We don't have to be in the same state.
yeah.
We don't even have to be in the same country. So
Yeah,
it's having the ability to do that, right? I can go to France and be like, hey, I'm a couple hours ahead of you, but let's get on and let's play, right? And we can do that, right? So it's bringing people together, meeting new friends. You hear stories all the time where people have been playing for like 8 years together and they've never met each other, and then they have an opportunity to meet each other and they just pick on. They're like best friends now. It's
yeah.
like, it's crazy. And then you have people who, who have started relationships and gotten married
Yeah.
because they play games so much. So it's so cool though. But
Yeah.
those stories are possible because the community and the games and being able to talk with people and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's been great.
Yep. Mr. Flamish. Hey, Paris and Don just came to say hi and give the show a like and support. I appreciate you doing that, brother, for sure. Of course,
Yeah, Flemish is international himself, right? So
yeah.
he can tell you.
Where is he? Where is he?
Flemish, where are you? I know you're in
Yeah,
Europe somewhere.
Let us know
Yeah.
where you're tuning in from. I know you're tuning in from YouTube, but let us know country wise where you're tuning in from, Flamish, for sure. I'm curious. Like I said, how do you see, and maybe Microsoft has started this already, but
Mhm.
just the technology of VR in gaming and pairing the two and making it, and even do you feel like that's maybe even the next step of making it a more immersive type of experience for
Mhm.
users, or how do you feel VR kind
Um,
of fits into it?
yeah, there's been a few companies and folks have taken swings at it. Um, VR is still, I think Facebook is trying to do some stuff like that. I think they're their new metaverse thing. So it's still, I would probably say it's still a long ways to go.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know if you've seen the movie Player One,
Yeah.
but to get there, there's a lot that has to happen, right? And I think
Yeah.
that would be the ultimate. I think that's sort of like the golden age per se, right?
Yeah.
The golden key is to get there. But yeah, VR is it's you gotta wear stuff on your head. You gotta do certain things to make it happen. So we'll see. I'm excited for it. we'll just for me, it's just like I'll wait and see to see sort of where we're at as far as like the advancements of it.
Yeah.
There's a few companies that have that have tried it. They have not gotten the success, but they got a lot of learnings out of it.
Yeah.
Per se, they just didn't get enough gamers to put down their consoles or phones or whatever. Yeah, I just don't know yet.
Yeah. Still early.
I don't know if you could take a VR thing and go sit on a bus. And
well, yeah, that's the only bad thing about, like I said,
right.
VR is they haven't made it to where it's mobile, like AR, and everybody's
Right.
got a phone, and that's where I think they're still kind of, like you said, got a long way to go to the point where, okay, I can put on glasses and be in this total immersive environment. Totally. Mr. Flemish is from Belgium. Belgium. All right. Appreciate you tuning in from Belgium for sure. What does he say? He has a comment here. I need to go further. I need VR to go further. I get, and that's another thing. I know that was a big kind of working out point for people, just, the motion sickness and kind of this, parallax of just having a headset on for so long
Right.
and working that out. But I'm kind of with you in the sense that obviously it's got a long way to go, and there's still a lot of things they need to work out with for sure.
Right.
For you, what's in getting to this point where you're at now, what's been the biggest challenge for you in what you do?
The biggest challenge, I would probably say, just learning, trying to be the learn-it-all, right? And that's sort of, far from a know-it-all. It's all about learning.
Yeah.
I always challenge myself to take on more and learn more. So those are my biggest challenges, to sit down and really put some thought into what I'm trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish. So at work, it's like, hey, we gotta do certain things, and it's like, okay, so how do we get there? We may not have all the information, but we know we want to do this, and then how do we get it? So we have to go in, we have to learn how to accomplish those goals. We got to talk to the community, we got to talk to the people, we got to figure out sort of the lay of the land. Are we taking the right bets to make this happen, right? Sort of thing. So, trust in leadership and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just the work-wise, it's just learning specifically, because there's no way in the world you're going to know everything.
Yeah.
And if you do, then you need to be a CEO of
like I said, there's always somebody that knows something a little bit more than you.
Right.
Like I said, you never know everything.
Yeah.
What's been, for you, the best piece of advice that somebody's given you to this point that's really helped you?
Piece of advice: slow down and think through things before you respond. Right. Always think about the best intentions that people have when you're working. It's those sort of things. Growing up, it was always sort of a lot of negativity, and I felt like I had the weight of the world on my shoulders, where I had to always prove myself, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And that if somebody said something to me, feedback to me, I always took it as a negative sort of thing,
personal,
negative connotation, or they had a problem with me, sort of thing, when I was younger. But now it's sort of like, weed through that, think about, how people are giving you the feedback, because not all feedback is good feedback. You can look at the feedback and they're like, right, they can be totally wrong. You don't have to take that feedback and be like, oh man, now I got to change. But the feedback may be totally just offset. So why are you letting that person live in your head? So those sort of things, right?
For
sure. People.
For sure.
You take feedback in, but not all feedback you need to dwell on. So
yeah, like I said, you use what you can apply, and the rest you kind of let go, for sure.
Right. Especially if it's feedback where there's no action items for you or stuff like that. Like, somebody sends you an IM like, oh, your show sucks. Well,
okay?
Hey,
You're not
okay, what do
giving
I got to do
me
to make it
any,
better?
yeah, you're not giving me any type of feedback, which I always encourage my viewers. Like I said, that's how I get better. Leave me
Right.
feedback of what you think. Like I said, you take it and you process it, use what you feel you can use, and then the rest you kind of let go or put to the side. Mr. Flemish, I know you need to go. Flemish, I know, and I hope I'm pronouncing that. Forgive me if I'm not. I know you need to go, but I appreciate you stopping by. Make sure that you check out the rest of the episode, of course, on YouTube for sure, but I always appreciate you tuning in there. Mr. Gabe, I appreciate you tuning in as well for sure. We're having a great sit down with my very special guest and friend, Mr. Paris Lockhart, Senior Program Manager with Microsoft for sure. Um, if you weren't doing what you're doing now, do you think you would be doing anything else? I mean, you've always loved tech, but
Yeah.
if you weren't doing what you were doing now, what do you think you would be doing?
Oh, I'd be working in the comic industry or something like that. I'd be working on comic books and film and stuff like that. Working trying to figure that stuff out.
Which
So
they do, and we are again going to throw up links to all this Paris's contact. But you do run one of the biggest uh, Marvel Comics universe platforms
yeah,
on Facebook. Um,
yeah.
would it be? Do you think it would be writer, tech? What in comics would you be doing? Do you think, or would
I
you
would
want to
probably
do?
I probably would work on writing and telling stories, right? I, those sort of things. As growing up reading comics and loving comics and stuff like that. I love the stories. I love the art. I wasn't a good artist growing up. I sucked. I was terrible at it, but I always read comics. I love the art. Ooh, this is really cool. I love the time that we've interviewed a lot of comic book artists and colorists and stuff like that, and they do fantastic work. But there's a lot of writers that are putting the stories together that
Oh yeah,
make
yeah.
it sort of, even though it might just be piff or bow or a
Well,
little.
and it's funny that you said that because, like I said, I have had the privilege and honor of having some amazing writers on,
Right.
and it's amazing how they craft the narrative of the story, and
Hmm.
then, like I said, finding that right artist to bring the visuals together. It's fascinating to me and something I love as well. But
Yeah.
just sitting down writing this engaging story with the characters is such a amazing thing, I think. So what
Yeah.
is it about what is it about the MCU that you love?
Well, it's everything. Once Marvel Studios started producing movies, I think once they did the Hulk, and then they released Iron Man. It was like finally, you know, and there's a lot of backstory to Marvel Cinematic Universe. Where Marvel had sold their characters off to Sony and then
Yeah.
to Fox and stuff like that, and they did the X-Men movies, and then Sony had the Spider-Man. They did 5 Spider-Man movies before Marvel
Yeah.
Studios got back involved with them. But yeah, so all that stuff then, and then Marvel Studios had Iron Man, and then they created their own universe. They just branched out and just created this massive machine of just great storytelling and great writing and great visual effects and stuff like that. So that sort of really sparked me towards that. And then um, knowing that sort of they're the property owners of the other characters, were like, hey, we need to incorporate all these other characters. So everyone was excited when they got X-Men characters back, and
Yeah.
they're working with Sony on Spider-Man. But for me, it's just like that whole universe, and then there's so many people that love that that are involved in it. They know the stories and stuff like that. So when we created a group, it's like, we started getting numbers, and now we're over 500,000 members, and it's
Yeah.
just like wow, and we're just posting stuff, and they're posting stuff, and we're doing little giveaways, and we're just and it's a private group, so it's just all inside the group. Nothing's public because people want to come out and they separate themselves. They want to talk about on Facebook, they want to talk about their passions
Yeah.
without being ridiculed by anyone or being picked on and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
So, and it's cool. We give that safe haven, and I'm so happy for the group, and I'm happy that we get all the engagement. It's fun running it. We got some pretty awesome moderators that help. So, yeah, it's great, and we're continuing to grow, and we've got a few Hollywood people from Hollywood in the group. We got a few
Awesome.
people, a few famous comic book artists in the group. So it's crazy, and we got stunt actors and all those people in the group. So it's just
It's
to see
surprising,
them
like I
post
said.
that
I
stuff.
think a lot of people, like I said, I have to admit, I knew it was big, and I had never been to like a Comic Con or
Mm,
anything like that. And I went to my first Comic Con here in Houston, and it was just really, it took me aback. Just people just love comics, and
yeah.
they love cosplay. They just love the industry.
Hmm.
So I mean, it's just not surprising that you have these kind of crazy numbers of people that just love it. I think, like you said, with Marvel, coming out with Iron Man and all these characters now,
Hmm.
people are okay. It's something that's, it's not like a nerd thing before where you were just this that type certain person would read comic books and was into comics. Now everybody just
Right.
realizes it's a big thing, and
Hmm.
everybody has a passion for it.
Right. Yeah, and you'll have some people that have only watched the movies, and they generally have not picked up any comics. And we get people like, "Hey, I haven't read any comics. Where should I start? I need help." Right now that Marvel has did the Marvel Unlimited, where you can now get I think 29,000 comics on any of your devices. They have a subscription to that, so you
Yeah.
can get those, and you can just pick any of the heroes or villains that you want to read about, and right on the app, you can just read about their origin stories. So now you can take that information and then connect it back to to the movies and shows that they're doing. So it's and I have a feeling the comic industry is sort of coming back up because it sort of was down, where not that many people were buying comics, but people would go to cosplays and stuff like that. They'll dress up as the characters, but nobody was really picking up the books and
Books. Yeah.
buying them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's changing, and I think it's getting better, and I'm so happy for the industry and for the comic book artists and the writers and stuff like that, because I think without any of them, like the movies wouldn't be anything, right?
Oh
Nobody would
no.
go.
Yeah.
They have no source material. I mean, they could try to create some new stuff, but the comics is what really provided that essence of the characters, and a lot of people who have had an opportunity to read them are like, hey, this is what Iron Man, Tony Stark is, right
Yeah.
here. And then they play it out in the movies. I know the movies are a little bit different, but people now know that they can attach that comic book character to the movie, and it's really, really, really impactful on how they tell their stories. So, and
Yeah.
it's awesome. People may not know. They're like, hey, we got to go back and read this comic because they reference this
Yeah. Yeah.
particular story in the comic, and it's probably only about a 5-minute scene, but it probably spanned across 3 different comic books in the paperback. So it is awesome to see that they're doing it. And I love the fact that they are doing it. Um, and
No,
yeah, the group
like I
is
said,
awesome.
you probably are right in the sense that, like I said, I'm pretty sure a lot of people, or very few people, unless you were a die-hard comic book fan, read
Right.
Black Panther before it came out. And
Mm-hmm.
then, like I said, Black Panther came out, became a big hit. So I'm pretty sure that sparked a lot of people to go back, pick up some comic books, and really dive into, what the character is and
Right.
his backstory and everything like that. Are you encouraged? Because like with the advent of a lot of independent comic book creators that
Mm-hmm.
you're coming across and seeing and putting out their own kind of content.
Yeah, yeah. The independent scene is huge. I mean, I'm so happy. Like Derek Robertson, he's the creator of The Boys. It was a comic book before it became big Netflix. I mean, sorry, Amazon Prime show. So, yeah, I appreciate the indies. I think they need love. I think people need to really just dive in and give it a chance and read some of these stories. They're pretty cool. If you go in and read their stories and support it, you never know, it could turn into film, right?
Yeah,
And it can
yeah.
now it's a film. Now you have another avenue of entertainment towards these characters that you like so much, and it's just the opportunity for people to go out and do that. In our group, we don't really touch on indie too much. We only talk, of course, Marvel, because we're just
Yeah,
based
you're a
on Marvel.
Marvel, yeah,
Yeah,
Marvel community. But
yeah,
yeah, like I said, I've had the chance to really connect with, and I'm going to give some shameless plug, Mr. Brian Williams, Lucius Hammer and the Shadow, awesome comic book for sure. Writer for that, just super talented, and like I said, there's just so many super talented comic book creators out there. And again, we're going to be putting. I highly. He did say it was a private group, so you have to get approved. But we will put the link in the show notes as well to kind of let you, if you are a MCU fan for sure.
right.
Uh, what do you feel, kind of getting back to video games, what do you
Mm.
feel makes a great video game for you?
Um, for me, it's story. Because you can have a game that has decent graphics, but as long as you have a great story, it works. So it's all about story for me. That's what I think makes a real good video game. Is how decent was the story, and then how long of gameplay do I have on this story? And then for me personally, I love multiplayer games. Can I play this story with other people?
Mm.
Can I have other people play with me? And can I have other people help me beat a certain part of the level, right? And then we all get power ups or boosts and all that other stuff, and we're chatting about it and talking about it over the headset. So those games for me are what I like call successful games. Like I just love those sort of games. Now there's single player games. There's a lot of them. I like those too. I played, trying to beat Hades. Trying to beat it. Every time you die, you got to start over and you lose all your powers.
And I think
um,
that's the part of the fun. Like I
right.
said, it took me a while. I remember, and I kind of like the game. I try not to. I really do try not to play
Yeah.
too many games because you could be sitting. I could be sitting down for hours playing, video games and stuff like that. But I do love, and I do have it on my phone. The Which one is it? It's God, God's Among Us. Injustice,
Oh,
Injustice.
Injustice, the
Yes, and I know it.
DC. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know it took me a long time to beat this one character, and I think that's the thing, making it challenging, but making
Hmm.
it fun, and then, like I said, giving you the ability to play with others. That whether it's
Right.
online against somebody or playing with a team of people. Uh,
Hmm.
on that. I think that's what, like you said, makes a great game as
Makes
well.
a great game. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Those, and then there, of course, there's a lot of single player games that are out there. That are really good, like Psychonauts 2. I'm in the middle of that. I still need to beat that. I'm being made fun of at work because people have already beat it. And I haven't beat it yet. They're like, "You still haven't beat that yet?" I'm like, "Oh." Then there's the Artful Escape. I just beat that on our streaming service, so that was pretty cool to play that, and it's beautiful graphics, and it was just like a whole sort of different way of how to play games. So yeah, there's single player games that are out there that are really really cool. But for me, it's always been story,
Yeah,
and then of course community if I can play with other people.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so just
Well,
trying
do
to
you
with that.
feel, and like I said, Microsoft has already started, doing this with their streaming service. Do you feel other companies are gonna really start to latch onto that because streaming is such a big thing now.
Well, we're not the only ones that are out there.
Yeah.
Amazon has Luna, Google has Stadia, um, uh, uh, GeForce. They're out there with their streaming. Nvidia's GeForce now. So there's a few others that are out there that are already streaming and streaming games over the wire to devices. So yeah, we're not the only ones, which is cool. It gives us sort of a sense of what the market is. So it's great. The more games that people can play, the better. So I'm all for the entire industry
Obviously,
of gaming. So
obviously,
yeah,
like you said, you've seen and I've seen, and I'm sure a lot of other people seen people just like I said, live streaming themselves playing a game.
yeah.
Does it amaze you the amount of number of people that are on there just watching them play a game? Or I don't know if Facebook, like I said, I've seen them mostly on Facebook, so I'm
Right.
assuming, I don't know if it's
They're on Twitch.
player,
On
yeah,
Twitch.
or Twitch, if it's player
Yeah.
versus player, or I mean, and
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
then, they still have 60, 70,000 people just live watching them play.
Watching them play. Yeah, what was I doing? I was looking for something the other day on Twitch, and I follow Minecraft. I follow like a lot of our first party channels and stuff like that, and I seen people playing Minecraft. There was a couple of people, and I was like, okay, this person has 60,000 people playing Mine. He's playing Minecraft, and he has 67,000 people watching him. Person under him, the other person had 60,000 people watching him play. And I was like, are they in the same game? So I was clicking both. And I was like, they're not even in the same game. I was like, these are two different audiences, and they got 60,000 people apiece watching them play Minecraft. So it's amazing, and it's awesome to see. And I'm so happy for all the people that are able to stream and get viewership like that. One thing that I do wish, I think they're really trying to work on it, is it's just the opportunities for people of color to get get their channels sort of
Yeah,
out there in the limelight, because they're you know I, I don't know if it's just a miss or how it's I don't know how the algorithms work, but I think sometimes that we just there's opportunities for some pretty great streamers out there that just don't get those views. So hopefully, they're working on it, and it's stuff that still needs to be sorted out for people of color that are in the streaming industry that are
yeah,
streaming.
yeah,
And I'm happy that some of the streaming services are taking action to help those people, because some of them have some pretty cool things, and they're just being skipped over because they just don't have the audience, or they don't
yeah,
have the people that are able to see their channels, because it's like, oh, I don't see where they're at, right? Oh, I don't know who they are. So they're just watching sort of the popular ones, which is great, but it's just, if you want diversity, you gotta get it, and you
yeah,
gotta be able to get opportunity for others to do it, and it can be done. I mean, this is tech; it's not hard. So,
yeah, yeah.
um,
And also
action.
pairing that with supporting, like I said, and that's with anything, whether it
Right.
be independent, a black independent comic creator, a black independent game developer, whatever, supporting it so that it does start to gain the traction,
Yeah.
which is, like I said, why another really big reason why I do the show, to really highlight and help support the ones that you don't necessarily see out there and that aren't getting that kind of traction and notice for sure. We're gonna
Right.
throw up a few more comments here. Mr. Jeepers, yes, House of Ashes was amazing. I'm assuming that's a game.
Yeah, it's a game.
House of Ashes. I tell you, like I said, I try and limit my gameplay because, like I said, I could get lost in some games for sure.
Yeah, no worries.
So, Cerebral Paul, if the story is great, even a short game, yeah, that's true. Like I said, I think if the story, and that's where everything starts, be it film, be it short,
Mhm.
whatever it is, comic book. If the story's great, the rest is gonna follow for sure.
Right.
So,
Right.
like I said, I love it, love it, love it, love it. Um, we've like I said, I try and be respectful of my guest time and everybody's time, and like I said, uh, I hope everybody has been enjoying this for sure. Uh, as always, we are gonna put up and make sure that you connect with Paris on all his channels, his face. Check out some of his. They also do a great interview show, the MC Universe, the MCU. They've had some great guests on for sure. Um, like I just said, a huge community on Facebook, MCU Marvel, working to get my Facebook group up to that level for sure. But you can't beat an MCU fan for sure. There's just too many MCU fans.
Yeah,
But you
I
can,
think I think our goal for the Marvel Cinematic Universe Facebook group, and that's the second link there. We're in the groups.
yeah,
That group, I think the goal is try to get to 3 million. So that's my
woo.
goal. Three
And
million
you
members.
definitely know there's 3 million plus MCU fans out there
Yeah,
for sure. It's just you got to get it.
yeah.
Also on Twitter, and check out the YouTube channel for sure. Again, all of these information will be on the show notes on YouTube. So make sure that you go to the YouTube channel and check it out. Um, just one last question. If you could kind of go back in time and be standing in front of your younger self, what would be the one thing that you would tell yourself?
Um, let's see. Keep pushing because everything is gonna be okay. I think that's what I would have told myself. Yeah,
That's
just
a
keep
good one.
pushing. Yeah.
That's a good one. I gotta put a bomb. That was
There you go. Woo.
that was a bomb drop. Always push yourself,
Yeah.
because everything will be okay, and everything
Yeah.
eventually does work out in the end for sure.
Yeah.
Um, Paris, like I said, I'm so thankful that we got a chance to connect, and I so appreciate you being on the show.
Hmm.
And being part of the Color of Motion family, and definitely looking forward to having you back on the show, maybe having you and some of your cohorts with the MCU group on the show, and
Yes.
chatting about MCU. I think we do need to talk about that and having y'all on here, and talking some MCU comics and stuff. But it's just been a blast.
Yeah, yeah, we'll definitely work out some time to do that. We have a nice, pretty following on the 4GQ TV channel. Uh, we talk about games and all sorts of stuff. So, yeah, we'll definitely try to hook up again and make it happen. That's and cross promote a little bit. And I think what you do for the community, and I love the show. I love the guests that you've had on in the past. I've been able to watch a lot of those different interviews with people that industries that I may not know too much about and what they're doing. So it's really, really, really awesome that you're providing that avenue. And just keep on grinding and pushing. You're gonna blow up. So just keep on doing it.
Well, my
Thank
goal
you.
is to really highlight, and like you said, there's so many little avenues in every industry that
Right.
you can walk down, or that people don't even think about. Like I said, you can sit and obviously you could look at the credits for a game, you could look at the credits for a film and see all the different pieces that make up that thing. So I'm
Mhm.
just having fun, really highlighting, like I said, actually, he should be on, I think, in January. Emery Graham just completed his video game that he's
Oh,
been
nice.
working on, and super excited to have him on the show. Of course, Mr. Sean with EA. So I love games, and
Mhm.
like you said, it's only going to get bigger. It's already exploded past film. It's just most people think of film, but like I said, games is such a big industry. And I'm super excited with the technology, what Microsoft doing, what Apple is doing, whatever all the companies are really doing as far as pushing the technology forward. I know it's only going to get better with games and films and everything that's coming out.
Hmm. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah.
Yep, that is a Spider-Man picture behind me. So I'm a big Spider-Man fan for sure. Um, so I appreciate that, man. I appreciate again you tuning in. I appreciate all the guests tuning in and everything. Uh, Paris, if you could hang out in the green room for just a couple of minutes while I close out the show, that way
Sure.
I can, thank you properly again. I hope everybody has enjoyed the show. Like I said, this was probably one of my shorter ones in a longer period of time. Like I said, most of the last few have run close to 2 hours. So I definitely, like I said, try and be respectful of not only my guests but you, the viewer, as well. Of course, I always know that you can check out. If, not everybody's going to hang out for 2 hours. Maybe I'm working on it, but if not, you can always check out the episode on YouTube for sure. But again, thank you so much, Paris, for joining me. Again, if you can hang out in the green room for a second while I close it out. But everybody, please help me thank my guest again for really tuning in and being a part of the show.
Thank you, everyone.
Guys, like I said, this has been another great episode. Like I said, I'm having so much fun, doing the show, connecting with all my, and I don't like to, and like I tell them, I don't consider them guests. Well, I have to say guests for you guys, but I consider them friends. And so I have had so much fun having all my friends on the show and just sharing their passion, their journey, what they're doing, and just highlighting them. It's always such a pleasure. And I can't thank you, the viewer, enough for making this a great show as well. You're helping to continue to like I said, make it fun and exciting for me. Again, please make sure that you jump into. I agree, Cerebral. Paris did a great job for sure, and so super excited about having him back on the show. And again, it was an amazing show, and I had such a blast doing it for sure. Ms. Salve, appreciate you tuning in and being a part. Definitely got to have you back on the show for sure because it's been a minute, and I know a lot of great things have been happening with you. But make sure that you get connected with the Color of Motion. Be a part of the community because I got a ways to go before I get to 500,000, like, the MCU universe, but I definitely feel like we can get there for sure. So join the group, be a part of the community. Um, check us out on all the channels. We're, always going to be here. I'm thinking about expanding it to Twitter as well. You never know for the new year, but I always want you to be a part. I always want to hear from you for sure. Like I said, it's you that makes it better. Letting me know what you think of the show, who you may want to see as a guest. We're always working and constantly working to get bigger guests on for sure, people that you want to see and may want to hear from. So, like I said, I can't thank you enough for sure. Again, this is it's been a fun episode, and I've had so much fun doing this. make sure, like I said, that you join us. One next week. It's going to be a great guest for sure. Looking forward to having my friend Mr. Matthew Isikuman. I know I didn't pronounce that right. For sure, on a super talented artist and character designer, animator on the show. So I'm just looking forward to sitting down and talking with him from Lagos or Lagos. I think I pronounce it Lagos. Lagos. I think it's Lagos. Lagos, Africa. So it's going to be a great show for sure. Also, of course, that next day, Sunday, is our 1 year anniversary celebration. So want you to be a part of that party for sure as well. Again, it's been a great day, great show, and I want to thank you for being a part of it. Hopefully, and I know not hopefully, I know you will have a great weekend, have a great week. Definitely want to make sure I see you next week, so tune in. It's going to be a great weekend, great full weekend for sure. So I'm looking forward to it. So with that, have a good one. I will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Have a great day. Mr. Paris.
Hey.
Great show. I appreciate you so much, man. Awesome show. Had such a great time. I appreciate it, man.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll share it on my socials. I was trying to share it, but we were in the middle of it. I was like, oh, okay, people were pinging me and stuff, and I was like, oh,
the show your episode will be up on the channel by Monday, and I'll shoot you the link for that so you can share directly your.
Okay, awesome. Y'all wait for that. Okay, cool.
By Monday, but man, no, he's not gonna see it because he just posted this. We are not live, but we're not gonna see it. So somebody from your 4G QG
okay.
TV, yeah, we're not live, so he's not gonna see it. But so definitely, I'm looking forward to reaching out and connecting with Noveen for sure. To see if I can get her on. She looks like a great guest for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely, and I'm gonna post in the community. If you want to connect with some of the comic book artists and writers that are in the group, to have them on your show, that would be great as well. Because just getting their content and their story out there is always a good thing, for sure. And I'm always looking to promote them. So I think they would be great guests for your show.
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah, I'll reach out to see who and actually no, I'll share your information with some of the people that, like, we interviewed Ho Che Anderson, and he's the comic book creator of Martin Luther King Jr.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we did an interview with him. We got over 100,000 views on our interview with him on Facebook. So I think it's good.
Wow,
yeah, it was 100,000.
So what's been your has the group been kind of your main channel for connecting with these guests, or how? I mean,
no, it's just me reaching out, man.
Okay.
Yeah, no, like the group for the people, like our group is a private group, so it's just an added bonus to say, hey, I have a group,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
500,000 people. Do you want to? We'll post your video in there so people can look at some of the things that you're doing. And it helps our views, of course, for only the stuff that we do Marvel related, but we do games, we do all
Yeah,
sorts
yeah.
of stuff, comics and stuff. So DC stuff, you know.
Yeah, yeah. And
But
that might be
yeah,
something else. Like I said, I'm always, especially in the new year, wanting to kind of try some different things. That may be something I
you
might
got
want
Spider-Man in your background. You might as well.
just
Yeah,
just streaming a live game or something like that, I think might be
yeah.
interesting, and just to see how it plays out and stuff
Right,
like
you know,
that.
you get to, tell your family, start off by just say, hey, family, you, my brother or cousin or uncle, your nieces, your cousins, whoever is out there that you may have that's into games, even if they're not into games, just stream it while I'm playing, right? Just watch it, right? Don't you make comments, make fun of me. I don't care. Do everything you want to do, but just do it, and
Oh man.
and it'll build on from there because that's how YouTube's algorithms work, sort of
Work.
like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
based on the stream. But they're also looking to target more people of color to get their voices out there. That's
Yeah.
sort of why it's really important. So,
Yeah.
just keep, you should definitely try it. Stream one. You don't even have to have a camera on, or you can have a camera on. Get a capture card and the little thing connected to your thing or whatever,
Yeah.
or play a
Yeah.
PC game, something simple.
I should have a way to run my phone through my stream.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got my phone connected, so I think I can run it through as a camera into
There you go.
eCam.
Yeah,
And
get different angles and stuff.
and
Yeah,
just
there's a
play.
bunch of different little tricks that people do where they bouncing the cameras back and forth and stuff. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I like how you were like focusing in and out on this. That's awesome.
Like I said, trying to, and you can, and I think if you look at my first episode, you can definitely see how far I've come as far as the show goes. And I'm not sure, what software platform you're using.
We're just using Restream.
Okay, you're just streaming, and I'm only using it to stream multi-stream. I'm doing
Right.
the show in eCam. And then using Restream to stream out to all my channels and stuff like that. But
okay,
eCam has just, because I was using StreamYard before, which is a web-based streaming. It's not a desktop app; it's a web-based streaming platform. But eCam is just like totally leveled up my show as far as what I can do with pulling in graphics, like I said, the little overlays and sound things. It's definitely something that you might want to check out for sure, because it's such a great software.
Yeah,
Plus it's
we'll
Mac
do.
based. I mean, I know you might be PC based, so it's only Mac based, but it's great. It's great live streaming software, and it's definitely helped level up my show for sure.
Okay, cool.
But definitely, like I said, I will hit you up Monday once the show is on the playlist and on the channel. Send you your link. But I definitely want to get back with you to see about having you and your partners come on to talk about your Facebook group and what you're doing with the MC universe and comics and stuff.
We got some pretty cool peeps that are part of the channel.
I've been checking. Like I said, I've checked out a few of the episodes and stuff, and y'all seem to have a good little crowd there.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna keep you, Paris. Like I said, man, I can't thank you enough. One for like I said, being on the show. Two, for being my friend and connected with me. But just super excited about having you back on and how we can kind of continue to do some work together, man.
Yeah, we'll do. Awesome, man. Thank you for everything.
All right, awesome. Paris, have a great weekend, and I'll hit you up Monday.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Peace.
Bye.
Shouldn't be.